It's concerning to me that when we have concerns about protecting especially children under the age of majority, that's brushed off and said, oh, that's already protected under law. Age is already protected under law. Members, everything in this amendment is already protected in the Human Rights Act. So then if that's the answer, why are we doing this? Everything listed in this amendment is protected under the Human Rights Act right now. So if the answer is we don't need further constitutional protections, then we do not need this amendment. If that is not the case, then we absolutely need the NISCA amendment to protect minor children in this state, and I urge support for the amendment. Thank you.
Further discussion. I recognize the member from Chisago, Representative New Brindley.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and members, and thank you, Representative Niska, for the reminder, the little history lesson on what happened last year, because we did have agreement on this, and I think it passed with 100% green votes. I think it was 100% of this body voted to include this language, put this language into law last year, and somehow magically it disappeared, actually, when we got a bill back from conference. That's what happened. So actually, Representative Hurd, this is not in law. This is not in law. And I'll tell you what, and like I said, I apologize to my Republican colleagues, but I'll call you out too, because it's both sides of the aisle. Both sides of the aisle like to talk about parental rights when it is convenient to whatever issue you're talking about. And in this situation, it is more convenient for the Democrats to talk about, well, it's not up to the children. Let's have some consistency. Nothing should be a higher priority for a single member of this body than protecting children. Not one thing. Nothing we do here, and I mean nothing, not a dollar we spend, not a system we fund, not a dollar of welfare, nothing we do in this body matters more than protecting children. Nothing. And I am so sick of the inconsistency on this. This is not in law. There is no protection for children regarding minor attracted persons. There is no protection in law for those children. It does not exist. Once again, we're being told, don't believe your lying eyes. I sure hope somebody can stand up, chooses to stand up and tell us, oh, of course it's already in law, here it is. But let's be very clear. We are enshrining this Equal Rights Amendment into the Constitution. And guess what trumps state law? The Constitution. Any law written will be weighed against the Constitution. And so when a very liberal Supreme Court in the state of Minnesota has a case before them, how exactly do you think they're going to decide? Because I've got a hunch. Don't tell me what's in state law. Because frankly, as Representative Robbins pointed out, this entire dang thing is in state law. But apparently that's not good enough for everything else. So I sure hope the least we can do is say it's not good enough for our children. If we are going to protect anyone, if we are going to enshrine in our Constitution the protection of anyone, it should be our kids. The fact that anyone would stand up and recommend we vote no on this is an absolute embarrassment and a disgrace to this body. This is a disgrace. And this is exactly the problem with this underlying amendment, with the underlying Equal Rights Amendment. It's more equal for some than for others. And we're choosing to make it more equal for adults than for children? That's what this body is going to choose? It is disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting that this amendment would even be a question mark. Boy, I know there's things I can't say on this House floor. This is disgusting. The fact that anyone would consider voting no on this, it's absolutely disgusting. Let's get our priorities straight. Let's understand that our highest moral obligation is to protect our children. If you haven't done that soul searching, and I get not everybody has, I encourage you, do that soul searching. Because sometimes in this body we do have to decide between things we believe in, which is the higher moral code. But my goodness, for every single one of us at the top of that list should be protecting kids. The fact that this is even a question mark is absolutely abhorrent and disgusting.
I recognize.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you for those of you who have spoken up in support of our kids. You know, I hope every Minnesotan watches this little clip here and the vote that comes up after this. I think this is going to be a very, very clear distillation of, number one, which party should be in control of this state, and number two, whether or not anyone should vote for this so-called Equal Rights Amendment. You know, the governor put out a fact sheet in support of his budget last year talking about making Minnesota the best state in the country for kids. And the only person on this floor who spoke from the party of the governor said, don't vote to protect kids because it's already in state law. Well, Representative Brindley is absolutely right. We're talking about amending the Constitution. And the Constitution trumps anything in state law. So it doesn't matter what we have in the Minnesota statutes if we put language into the Minnesota Constitution that doesn't protect kids. And that's what this amendment does. So I hope the people of Minnesota are paying attention, because that is literally the only thing that was said on this House floor against why we would vote against this amendment. Literally the only thing. Again, in a constitutional amendment that was negotiated behind closed doors over many months, rammed through one committee with this new language that was workshopped behind closed doors, rammed through one committee, and we're having one debate on it. And the only thing that those in support of this amendment, this constitutional amendment, can say against including language to protect kids is it's already protected in state law. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. Vote yes.
Seeing no further discussion, the clerk will take the roll. The clerk will call the names of the members who are voting remotely.
Carol.
Carol, no.
Carol, no.
The clerk will close the roll. There being 60 ayes and 66 noes, the motion does not prevail. The amendment to the amendment is not adopted.